Hopefully you had a nice weekend. I want to start this off by congratulating the cast and crew of Three Musketeers. Let's give them a round of applause. I brought my 6-year-old to the show, the final dress rehearsal on Thursday, and he's been sword fighting all weekend with his brother. So it's not ended well on some occasions, but it was a great show, and thank you to the cast and crew. So we have a great opportunity today for another reflection. We have a lot of opportunities to celebrate our athletes. All right, as I said, this weekend we had opportunities to celebrate those engaged in artistic pursuits. We rarely have the opportunity to highlight some really incredible things that are going on in our academic program. And today is that opportunity. And we're thankful that Mr. Bridge has put together a reflection, so I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Bridge. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. Thank you. You guys get a second to look at the problem? I know, right? Loud groans emit from the crowd. Yeah. Yeah, no, this is a tough one. You can see that this is taken from last year's AME contest. What the AME is it's a contest that when you take the AMC, which a lot of you guys are signing up for, the top 5% nationwide qualify to take this test. And then if you do well on this test, you get invited to take another test. And if you do well on that test, then you train with the Olympic team over the summer. And then if you get picked from that group, then you go to the Math Olympics that the United States represents against everyone else. So this is essentially the first problem of the second round of that process. But you know what? We'll take a moment. We'll revisit this problem here in a few minutes. So, yeah, of course. I totally forgot about that. Gary, come on up, man. You know, I'll take a moment to introduce Gary. This is Gary Gow, one of our brilliant mathematicians. He's here to introduce me. Thank you.
Good morning. All right. My name is Gary, and I came to Haverford my sophomore year. And you might know Mr. Bridge from the well-received invitations during EA week. But I can assure you, in his reflection, there's more than riding bikes. I met Mr. Bridge the first week of school here, and I've known him as a math enthusiast and water polo coach since then. Although I don't have his class, from what I experienced during Math Club and Math Madness, he's an outgoing person who can lighten up the atmosphere. In the classrooms, he makes teaching interesting. At water polo, he is always in his intense mode. When we are in the pool, he requires and motivates us to concentrate and work hard, and I've enjoyed these moments working with him very much. Now, please join me and welcome Mr. Bridge to give his reflection.
Thank you. Good to see you again. Good to see you. I miss you. Yeah, thanks, Gary, so much. If you don't know me, despite the striking resemblance, I am not Sam Resport. In fact, I'm the real Mr. Bridge, but I can only hope that in this short reflection I can achieve his level of eloquence. So that last problem that was just up here, if I was given that problem in high school, I would have probably crapped myself. It is a very hard problem, and in high school, I was really preoccupied with grades. I was what you call a transactional student. I preferred predictability and routine processes over any sort of risk-taking or creativity, which this problem clearly requires. I got like a B, I think, in calculus, but let's just say that the homework portion of the grade was heavily weighted. I never really thought I was a good math student because I didn't get it, whatever that means, as fast as other students in my class. In fact, I have this one memory of my studying with a buddy before a math test, and I was super confused. And he's like, dude, don't even worry about it, man. Just do exactly what the teacher showed us today on the board, and you'll be fine. And that really just summarized for me what math was all about in high school. It's like some cookbook recipe. Your teacher told you a formula, you plugged in some numbers, and got out the right answer, or you didn't, which was the case with me most of the time. Let's take a look at this problem again real quickly. Just to kind of clarify what this problem even means, you're getting a number, and you're getting this number by adding a bunch of things together, 9, 99, 999, and so on and so forth, up to 321 digits of 9. So you get a number by adding all those numbers together. That's not the problem. The problem is then to find the sum of the digits of that number. Oof. So we had 2 students take this test last year, both really, really great students. I'm going to show you the solution that the first student did, and he got spot on. He used a formula that you'd find in a pre-calculus text. He used a series formula. He used a regressive formula, or recursive formula, that is, and to calculate each term of the series, and then he specified which, you guys get the point. He's really, really great, really, really bright, got the right answer and all that kind of stuff, but really, really complex and required a pretty sophisticated knowledge of pre-calculus level material. Okay, let's get back to me. So when I went to college, I really just stopped thinking about math altogether to pursue philosophy. All I did was think about why in philosophy, and I loved it. What is reality and why is it so? What does good mean, and how do we know? How do we know what we know? And if it sounds like a Dr. Seuss world, it certainly felt like that for a number of years, all the way through my master's degree. I felt like I was in a Dr. Seuss world for 7 years. But along the way, I developed an immense appreciation for deep critical thinking, the power of creative use of logic and reasoning. And for the first time in my life, I didn't take things at face value, but instead questioned why they were and how we can determine them using logical arguments and explanations. And if I didn't get a logical argument or explanation, then I would refuse to accept it, or at least express a lot of criticism and cynicism about it. Needless to say, it became a lot less fun to hang out with at parties. But, I was addicted to the practicing critical reasoning, and this culminated my return to mathematics. The story is that I was teaching philosophy classes at a college in Chicago, symbolic logic classes, to be precise, and I really loved it. My students were like war veterans who went off to fight in the Iraq wars when they were like 18, and they came back and wanted a career as a civilian, so they needed to take college classes. And my symbolic logic course counted as a math prereq, which they all loved. They didn't want to take algebra, so they took my class. Maybe immigrants who came here wanting to pursue what they thought was the